Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel where we discuss child-related topics that matter. So far we've been talking about exceptional children, and then we narrowed it down to learning difficulties, and we are currently talking about ADHD. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe if you have not, so you don't miss out on other important topics that we'll be talking about. And so far we have spoken about so there are three core areas when it comes to ADHD, but we have spoken about the first two, and today we are going to talk about the very last one. So far, when it comes to the three core areas of ADHD, we have spoken about inattention, and we spoke about hyperactivity, and today we are talking about impulsivity. And so, if you have not watched the previous episodes, I would encourage you to do so you can get the flow and the connection, so that what we are doing would actually make sense to you. And so, the big question is, what is impulsivity? So in the context of ADHD, impulsivity is explained or defined as acting without thinking about the consequences. Now, mind you, children who have ADHD, and when they tend to show this characteristics, is not because they are being stubborn or disobedient or they want to be naughty. It's just because it's a neurological trait which makes them act or speak or take a decision before thinking about it. So it is not an intentional act. They don't say, okay, I'm going to distract the class just because I feel like doing it. No, usually they know the rules, but then they find it difficult to pause. Now let me give you an example. It's like you have a car that has the engine of a Ferrari but then has the brakes of a bicycle. Now how hard is it going to be to stop such a car? And this is how it is for them. So their brain is actually wired that way. It is not a behavioral problem. It's actually a challenge that you face, okay? And so I'm going to give you some scenarios to help you understand or to help you identify impulsivity in a child. Okay, now let's talk about the scenarios. So we have, let's say Kofi, a 7-year-old child in the class, and the teacher is asking a question. Now, before the teacher would finish asking the question, or before someone could answer, Kofi just says the answer. Now, Kofi is not being rude. It is just impulsivity taking action. Or let's say Maya, a 9-year-old, is going to a cousin's birthday party, and so gets a teddy bear and wraps it for the cousin. Now, before the cousin could unwrap the parcel or the gift, Maya says, "Oh, it's a doll," or "Oh, it's a teddy bear," and ruins the surprise. Now, Maya did not do that intentionally. It is just impulsivity. Or let's take let me say Abraham, a 10-year-old boy who is walking down the street and then sees a football go across. Now, instead of checking to see whether there's a car coming or not, Abraham just runs after the ball and goes to get it. Now, should something happen, at that point, Abraham is not even thinking about it. He's just acting, based on the impulses. And so Abraham is not being reckless. So the scenarios I have given you, if you know any child who just acts, does things without thinking about it, and you keep complaining, but then the child keeps doing it, it means the child is not just disobeying you. It is just impulsivity that is in action. And so I'm going to mention some areas that you can actually pay attention to help you know, or to help you identify if you have a child that is going through this condition, or should I say condition? Yeah. And so we are going to discuss some ways that impulsivity shows up. Now, you sometimes will have a child who cannot wait for their turn, and so you ask them, wait, they just cannot wait. And you've been trying, but this child just cannot be patient to wait for their turn. That is one aspect. Or you have this child that keeps interrupting conversation. So you're talking to someone and then they will just cut in. Or you are not even talking to them at all. Like they are not even, what you're saying does not concern them, but then they will cut into it. That is another one. Or you have a child that ends up completing people's sentences. So someone is talking to them, they quickly would complete the sentence for the person. That is another way that it shows up. Now, another way it also shows up is you usually would find this child grabbing things from people without asking, and they don't do it because they want to be rude or rowdy, or it just happens. So you have something, they just grab it from you, or somebody's item is lying down, they just take it without asking for permission. Or sometimes you notice that they do things without, they don't care the consequences. It's not that they don't know the rules, but they just go ahead and do things without thinking about the consequences. Usually they would end up finishing whatever it was before they would think about it. And so these are some of the ways that impulsivity shows up. And so if you notice these things in a child, it means that, like I keep saying, you take the child to see a doctor, a pediatrician, so that the child can be properly diagnosed, and then you know what to do. What I do is that I'm just giving you an idea so that when you start to see these things, you know to quickly do an early intervention, because early intervention is always the best. Now, I just want to say this again. Children with ADHD, or children that show some of these things I'm talking about, it is not because they have behavioral problems. It is just a self-regulatory challenge. And so it is up to me and you to help them. So in the next episodes, I'm going to be talking about what we can do to help them, what we can do to support them. And then I'll give you some materials, if possible, that you can use. But please mind you, don't turn yourself into a doctor and start diagnosing people. This is just to help you to know what to look out for, so you can help that child, or some adults actually are even still going through this, so you can also help whoever it is that you encounter. And so today, this is where we will bring the episode for the third core aspect of ADHD. The next episode, we will dive deeper, and I'll probably give you more examples and then the best way forward, how to help them, how to assist them. And so thank you so much if you have watched up to this point. Do not forget to like, to share. And if you have not subscribed up to this point, really, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe. Thank you so much. Lots of love from me to you all. Mwah.